Oh, hello, everybody. This month, we are working on quantum leaps. And in today's episode, what we're going to talk about is how to raise your awareness and how to raise your vibration. And this plays into the quantum leap discussion because as we quantum leap, basically what we're essentially doing is we're choosing a new reality that's not linear to where we're at. So let's just explain this real quick so that way we can be on the same page and then move forward with today's episode. So let's just say reality lives in I don't know, like bands, like numbers 1 through 10. So let's say in number 1 reality, and let's just say this is where we're at. We're making, I don't know, 100,000 in our business. We have a certain amount of clients. We have a certain kind of problems and certain, awesome things. And now let's say what's a linear is to go to step 2, right? But let's say we're not necessarily really wanting what's at step 2. We're really wanting what's on, like, let's say level 6. And when we go to do that, what ends up happening is we have to be able to vibrationally hold that, which really just means our body needs to feel safe, feeling better is really what it comes down to. And I want to point out that while that sentence may sound ridiculous to your mind, when it comes to our bodies, sometimes our body really can't handle feeling good. Like, especially if you grow up in a lot of chaos or a lot of turmoil, or money was a lot of struggle for you, or if the idea of holding more responsibility actually makes your butthole pucker. The things that are happening at level 6, your body may actually not feel safe. All right. So when we talk about moving the vibration, what we're really saying is, does my body feel safe here? Can my body actually handle this? All right. Now, also, on that, like, quantum leap, we need to get our mind to be able to go there, to be able to paint the picture, to be able to create that reality. And then eventually our mind is going to have to perceive the opportunities and, meet the right people and take the right actions and do the right things. So in today's episode, what I want to talk to you about is kind of the way that, like, we we use ourselves to be able to create these realities. So when it comes to spiritual discussions, oftentimes there's a real high focus on consciousness, like raising the level of consciousness, right? And most of the time when people think about raising their vibration, they're thinking about their consciousness. And what I want to point out is that in our culture and society, we really highly value the masculine side of things. And that comes at an undervaluation of the more feminine side of things. All right. And so I want to point this out because for the people that I'm working with, the masculine model of success doesn't really work as well for women once we start getting past. It depends on your business model, it depends on what you do, but like somewhere between 100,000 and 500,000, what I notice is that women, especially as we start to get into our 40s and 50s, are burning out doing too much masculine work. When we're too far into the masculine, women are burning out. And so what's interesting is that the models of success and spirituality and things like that are really written by men for men. Even the entire spiritual concept of, like, emptying your mind, it's a very masculine way to reach enlightenment. It's a very, it's a very male way. It's an emptying. It's, anyways. So today what we're going to talk about is just how our consciousness and our embodiment kind of plays together, and how the mind can teamwork with the heart to be able to be much more effective. And I wish that when I was learning about, like, spiritual concepts and when I was learning about manifesting, like, somebody had just, like, really plainly explained this to me, and nobody did. So it took me a long time to figure it out, and so I'm going to explain it to you, and hopefully it helps you. All right. So our awareness, our consciousness, our I amness, right? This is the part of us that we could call the observer. Some people may call it your soul, your higher being, but this is the part of you that observes. So if you're to stop for a second and just watch your thoughts go by, let's say you're watching your thoughts go by, you are not your mind. Your mind is the tool that the consciousness uses. So you're going to be sitting there in the seat of your soul, observing the thoughts go by. All right. Now, what you could do with your mind is you could direct your mind on purpose, and you could say, all right, mind, let's think thoughts of gratitude. So now what you're doing is you're taking your mind and you're directing it. Now your consciousness is taking control, right? So your consciousness is taking control of your mind and it's saying, do this thing. right? And so let's say you make a list of gratitudes, and now all of a sudden you're going to feel that in your body. You're going to feel your state change. That state change that you're feeling is the embodiment aspect, and that's the feminine aspect. I'm going to come back to that, but this is what I'm talking about, where the consciousness is leading the mind, and all of a sudden the mind is leading the state. All right. So now we have these different aspects of ourselves. All right. So we can also use our mind to go back in time and learn lessons or give meanings to stories. Right. And oftentimes, actually, that's more unhelpful than it is helpful, actually, most of the time. But it's okay. So the mind is always learning how to survive. That's what the mind's job is. And so when life is happening and you're learning, all right, well, this is, if I do this, it sucks. Or if I do this, it's really awesome. Or if I do this, people like me. Or if I do it that way, people don't like me. Your mind is picking up on all of that and giving meanings to things. Now, those meanings will eventually become belief structures that will start to form your reality. So if the meanings that you give to things are open and positive, generally it's going to be all right. But if you start to be self-protective, or if your thoughts, mean negative or small things, chances are those same belief structures will cause limitation down the road. All right. Now, the mind is cool because it, like I said, it can go into the future, it can go into the past, right? So when we want to create something brand new in the future, it's our mind that has the ability to do that. And we do have to discipline our mind to be able to hold a picture and to be able to create something in that way. So I just want to point out, it takes some work and it does take some practice. A lot of times when I was learning about like manifesting and understanding energetics and a lot of this stuff, like what was really unclear to me was that a lot of the things that are required to actually be a good and clean and at creation on purpose are more like muscles. It's not like a thing you either know about or you don't know about. It's like you have the energetic muscle to do it or you don't, and that works. That muscle builds in with practice.